We decided that we would go to Africa on our one, two, three, fourth date. The one thing that I love to talk about is traveling. And a topic that I absolutely love to talk about is traveling with your partner. What makes me qualified to talk about traveling with your partner? For the last couple of years, I have taken about 42 different trips with my partner, and that's in the last 2 years. We've taken several 3 week trips, we've taken weekend trips. And so, therefore, I feel like I'm kind of qualified to be able to talk about traveling with somebody. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is V. I go by Vee Mindful, and I'm a relationship coach, published author, podcast host, and yep, YouTuber, new YouTuber. I talk about everything related to relationships, traveling with your partner, manifesting your partner, learning how to communicate better with your partner, because my ultimate goal is to bridge us all together. Men need women, women need men. Or if you're a same sex couple, then a masculine needs a feminine, and a feminine needs a masculine entity because nobody's meant to do life alone. I would say our first date was even a vacation. Y'all, I didn't know him. That's another, I'm going to do a separate video on that. I want to talk about our fourth date. Yes, our fourth date. I live in the US, he lives in the US. We decided that we would go to Africa on our one, two, three, fourth date. If you are writing in your journal, your manifestation journal, now is the time to sit here and put in the things that you're trying to bring into 2024 because y'all, I manifested that trip. You could check out my other video and I will post the link in the description. I manifested this relationship, but I manifested this trip to Africa. First off, in the other video, I'll talk about why manifestation works, like, and how it works. You have to really be focused on keeping your vibration high. There's plenty of ways to do so. Wake up, play music, but you got to be in a good, I'm not even going to say a good mood, but you got to be feeling good. Okay? Because love is the highest form of vibration you can have. Even when you don't feel like feeling love, there's plenty of meditation. So there's a meditation I did religiously. There's one by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it is literally called Love. So if you want to call in love, and if you don't know where to start and how to feel love, then I would suggest you go check out that meditation because I did that a lot. Also did scripting, and this is where this trip got manifested through one of my scripting techniques. So a few years ago, before I even met him, I was going on all types of solo adventures because I didn't want to wait for a partner to be able to go out here and see the world. So, you know what? I said, again, I'm adventurous. So I went by myself. I went to Maui by myself, the honeymoon island. Everybody was coupled up, booed up. I didn't even know it was a honeymoon island. But I remember on one trip I went to, it was just like a 3 or 4 night getaway by myself. I went to Asheville, North Carolina. If you haven't been there, it's the cutest little town. I went to Asheville and I distinctly remember in that summer, I took my journal, my manifestation journal, y'all. I took my journal and I sat in a restaurant by myself and I literally was scripting out the things that I wanted to call into my life. One of the pages in this particular journal had a travel section. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just list the trips that I want to go on. Okay. So a couple of months before that, my girlfriend, she had asked me, hey, do you want to go to Tanzania or Tanzania? Depending on where you live in terms of pronunciation. I never considered an adventurous, like, I'm going to Africa vacation. Never even considered it going by myself. But my girlfriend asked me, "Hey, do you wanna go to Tanzania with me?" And I'm like, and Googled it, looked it up. I said, "Hell yeah, I will go with you." And anyways, fast forward like 2 or 3 months later, she backed out. Don't that's what happens. That's why I got into solo traveling, okay? She backed out. She says, "You know what? I cannot go anymore," because she had to deal with many things on her plate. But I said, I had this in my mind that I still wanted to go to Tanzania. So I put it in my journal when I was sitting there in that restaurant in Asheville, North Carolina in August 2021. And I wrote in my journal that I wanted to go to Thailand. I want to go to Tanzania. Yes, I did. And I had a couple of other places in there. And let me just preface this with saying I just got back from Thailand a couple of weeks ago. Manifestation works. Fast forward, I wrote that in my journal and I left it. The thing is, when you journal it out, you script it, you kind of forget it. Couple of months after that, no lie, I meet the man I'm with. Okay, just a couple of months after that, we connected online, and I'm gonna do a whole separate video about online dating because the way I coach my clients on online dating, there's only one site that I really recommend over the others, and this is the site that I met him on. We connected, we hit it off right away, and then eventually we decided to meet. And our first date was a vacation. Yes, it was. It was a simple, yes, it was. It was crazy. My girlfriend thought it was crazy. I'm gonna do a whole new separate video on that because I manifested that as well. Either way, before I went on a vacation, because I have a life coach, I still have a life coach, even though that I'm a relationship coach, I still, after several years, still have a life coach. But back then she was like, don't you at least want to FaceTime him before you go on a trip with him? And so we did our first FaceTime. It was 4 hours. And then I was like, you know what? Our first meeting was a vacation. I felt comfortable. Yes, I went. And yes, I went. In that conversation, when we were chatting, I said, I want to go to Tanzania. And he could not believe I said that because he said, I just got back from Africa. He's like, you want to go to Africa? I said, yes. I said, I'm going to go by myself in early 2022. He's like, you know what? I'm going back to Africa in February 2022. How about I meet you in Tanzania? And I was like, really? He's like, really? I'll meet you there. So our fourth date, fourth, I'd only seen this man 4 times. We did a safari in the Serengeti, and then we did a vacation in Zanzibar. Yes. Well, how did I manifest it? Okay, I already said scripting was huge, but I believed that this would be. Okay, I even put a video together, y'all, in December that year. In December, I did a video of, I call it my manifestation video. If you want to hear me talk about it, please, y'all, check out how did I manifest this relationship, because so many things that I had scripted, literally, I manifested. And I remember when I told my life coach, I was like, isn't that a coincidence? Isn't it? And she was like, the funny thing is, when people get what they manifested, they always say, isn't that a coincidence? Instead of saying, I actually manifested this. So, nonetheless, y'all, in February 2022, my manifestation came true. We went to the Serengeti. If you're out there and let's say you're trying to call in something for the new year, look, do not hesitate to script. Do not hesitate to journal. I am posting the link in the description to my journal, my journals, because I actually create journals. And it's so important. It's so important to call in what you're looking for. What are you looking for? But most importantly, before you even really focus on the relationship that you're looking for, focus on being what you're looking for. That's the number one thing. Be what you're looking for. When I met my partner, when I met him, I had already been working on myself for at least 2 to 3 years before I met him. I was prepping myself for him. Literally not for him, but I was prepping myself for a relationship. I was taking solo trips. I was already comfortable with getting in and out of this country on my own. I was already comfortable with being in my own company and knowing myself. I was already comfortable in doing all of that. So, therefore, when I met him, I was fully prepared. And again, I had a life coach, learn better communication skills, learn how to listen better, learn how to be in a relationship. I was learning all these things before I met him so that when I met him, I was ready to receive him. So please, yes, script, journal, visualize, but focus on becoming the person you are trying to attract so that when you meet that person, you're able to recognize that person. You're not going to be able to recognize that person if you're not even the version of the person that's supposed to be with that person. Okay, that person is going to walk right by you. So, by all means, take this time. When you write out and script what you're looking for, make sure that you embody those principles. If you want somebody adventurous, but you won't even leave the couch, they don't match. Okay. If you want somebody healthy and goes to the gym, but your ass in there eating pizza right now, girl, right now. Okay. And the gym ain't seen you probably since 5 years ago, then come on. You have to be what you're looking for. So start living the life that you're trying to attract. I'm telling you, it works. It works. It works. So, one thing I will tell you, if you want to get to know somebody, and I'm not going to recommend this for everybody, I'm just throwing this idea out there. Okay. Disclaimer, please trust your intuition. Please, please, please. Okay, but if you really want to get to know somebody, go somewhere where you don't have any Wi-Fi, you don't have any internet connection, because that was us in the Serengeti. We didn't have any Wi-Fi. We didn't have any Wi-Fi in many of the places that we went to because we were in the Serengeti. Clearly, our phone didn't work. Pretty much no service. When we were there, we really got to know each other. We stayed in a tented camp. We weren't even allowed to leave the tent at night because of the threat of animals. There are hyenas walking around, and you could hear them at night brushing up against the tent looking for food. There are elephants out there, and of course, there's lions out there. Like if he got mad or I got mad, you gonna suck it up and deal with it because your ass got to stay in the damn tent. It was very dangerous out there. You had to stay in there. We literally got to know each other thoroughly, because what else could we do besides talk about all the way back probably to the day I was born? But it was a great experience. And I feel like it's not even, I feel like I know that these adventures that I've been on these last 2 years that I'm going to do so many videos about, because I got some tidbits, things that I've learned. If you're planning to go to these places, let me tell you, I want to share some what to do, what not to do. Now, let me just go into a little highlights of the trip, right? Because I do want to share some of the video. Heck, I want to talk about this was our fourth date. I manifested it. So why can't I share? I don't have to create a whole separate video to share some of the highlights of the trip. One, I absolutely loved it. If you ever get a chance to go to Africa, go. Okay. Now, I have been to a few countries in Africa. I will say, if you want to go somewhere where you can experience one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, oh my gosh, go to Tanzania. Zanzibar was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. Okay, when it comes to beautiful water, beaches, look at this water. Do you not see this beautiful water? I absolutely loved Tanzania. I will 100% go back. I manifested that trip, and I'm manifesting many, many more. If you like this content, y'all, please like and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be sharing a lot of travel videos. And I want to talk about traveling with your partner, because there's been many trips that we had where I wanted to choke him. And I'm pretty sure he wanted to choke me. And being that I know so many people break up on vacations and so many friendships end on vacations, I want to share what to do and what not to do, how to talk out disagreements, y'all, and how to come back from these vacations not hating each other, wanting to fight each other, but wanting to be closer to one another. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, y'all. Please take care of yourselves. Bye bye.